Okay, well, I got the dog here licking at me and everything. And, I like to start the camera when I see stuff, and it just starts to remind me of stuff that's going on. And so right now I have a transaction, and this isn't the first time. It won't be the last time this is going to happen. A lot of times you have people who who are in your life, and you come in and you go like, oh, I'm going to have this person help me or whatever. And it's all kinds of different reasons. Be careful that person doesn't have too much skin in the game, especially for something that you're paying for. Because here's what happens. It doesn't matter if it's a relative, friend, co-worker, or real estate agent that just happens to be your relative or something in Florida. Well, you have to be careful what their advice is and what their experiences are, and especially people in the place that you're moving to. This doesn't matter where you're at. If you're in Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Kalamazoo, Michigan, I seem to keep mentioning Kalamazoo, Michigan, there can be an issue. I'm going to start with a few tales so you kind of understand where things are going. So a few years back, I had a friend of my wife, and the person had a relative who was thinking about moving to Las Vegas. So as part of the thing is, this individual was going to move in with them. So guess what? When they were looking for houses, every input was based on what this individual wanted. And one of the things that they wanted more than anything else is they had a child that was in school. And that child, they did not want them to move schools. So they tried to direct everything to the relative buying a house where they wanted, which may not have been the best for that relative. Matter of fact, they were looking at places that just happen to be like next to the school. It's like, oh, this is the greatest place. This is what you need to buy. And at some points, I'm just sitting there just looking at the whole thing. I'm like, eyes rolling, get on the phone. It's, individuals trying to talk to them and stuff. And, it's their uncle and aunt. And I'm just texting my wife. It's like, yeah, that's the way they are, But, stuff in that area was, a little pricey. And they were trying to save a little bit of money. So I started looking at other places, and then every place is like, I don't understand. Why would you move here? I just don't. It was like the stuttering was like that because it was not where they wanted to be. So they were trying to make decisions with someone else's money. They weren't even going to be paying rent, as far as I know. I don't know that, but they wanted to make decisions with someone else's money. I've seen other cases where, let's say, someone's going to buy investment property. I'm going to just use that as an example, but we're going to kind of like put some real life into it. And the person's trying to buy some investment property, and let's say they have a relative here in town. Let's say it's a child, and then the child is trying to direct things, and sometimes would kind of say it's like, one day I'm going to inherit this property, and they're going about trying to choose the property that they want to inherit, not the property that's the best for you for an investment. So you keep saying it, and in some cases you'll even get in a contract, and then that individual is still trying to push to get you out of that contract and into a place that they want. Look at what's best for you, not what's best for the real estate agent, not what's best for this person, friend, or whatever. Be honest, if you have a friend someplace and they're, if they were a real estate agent, of course you'd be using them. But let's say they're just helping you out. It's the best things in the world. I've done that in moves before, like you got someone in the squadron, hey, can you go out and look at this? They don't have a vested interest. They're going to give you, some true advice. They may say, you know what, I may stay away from that side of town and all this other stuff because they have nothing to lose. Someone's going to move in with you, especially those who ain't going to be paying rent. Actually, it's going to be the same because the ones who are paying rent somehow believe that they should have a decision, but they're paying rent, and yeah, that's kind of life. So just look out for the motives. And I'm just putting this out there whenever you're trying to buy a house and sometimes even sell a house. People may not be giving you the best idea. Because, I'll always get comments because you always hear from real estate agents, it's always a good time to buy. Yeah, you hear that all the time. Oh yeah, this is a good time to sell. Prices are going down, and yeah, you should sell now. Prices are going up. It's a good time to sell. The motivation is pocketbooks. How much money they will have in those pocketbooks and wallets is very harsh, but it's very true. I'd probably need to do another video on this one because there's a lot of F-arounds and find outs. But you don't want to be in that position. And another one is the friend or relative who's a real estate agent, but not in that area. They may or may not be helpful to you. So first of all, you got to realize we actually have different ways of doing real estate in this big country of ours with 48 states, the District of Columbia, and Puerto Rico and all this other stuff. And the way things are done in different states is completely different. And they may have the best of intentions for you, but they may give you the wrong advice possible. Here's a perfect example. In this state, we don't have walkaway money. I had to hear this at a big real estate expo here in Las Vegas a few years ago when the person was talking about walkaway money. I was like, excuse me, what in the world are you talking about? Seems on the East Coast they have walkaway money. So to put an offer in on a house, now you've heard of earnest money, right? No. In some states, in some areas, they have walkaway money. In other words, to put an offer in and for you to accept it, you got to give them something like, I'm going to make the number up, $1,000. That's the walkaway money just for you to put an offer in. Okay, you walk away, they still get that even if something happens with the EMD or however that goes. That's their money. Because the person, and this is what brought the conversation up, that walkaway money had gotten up to almost $100,000. So to put an offer in on a house, you had to have $100,000. We don't have that out here. There's all kinds of other things. And I've seen agents where I'm working with clients and they got a relative in the business, and sometimes it's even on the other side. You know, I'm representing the buyer, somebody else is representing the seller, but the seller has a child who's a real estate agent or used to be a real estate agent. I'm getting that in a second one. In another state. And they would give them real estate advice. And you just look at it, and even the other agent would be like, the seller's child wants this and this done. Because they know it's so stupid. And you're just sitting here, it's like you want to just, because you have to pass this on. Why are you telling me stupid stuff? That's not done in this state. That's because they don't know what's done here. I had a client one time claimed he knew all this is know about real estate. He used to be a broker out east, and he wanted me to put in an offer for a land contract. We don't have land contracts this side of the Mississippi. So he was such an expert. If they came from another state and the further away they are, in other words, somebody in California says some things, yeah, there's some things different. Arizona, there are some things different, but you know, it's kind of close. Utah, once you get started into Texas and Colorado and all that stuff, things get different. So be careful of that advice. Somebody's giving you advice and they were a real estate agent in Michigan, that advice is completely wrong. And here's another one. People who used to be real estate agents, they're the worst. I mean, the absolute worst. At least the people who are real estate agents, even if they were in another state, have some semblance of what's going on in the overall real estate business. These people who've been out for 5 or more years, especially those out more than 10, they don't know crap. They know less than you. And what makes them dangerous is their knowledge is so bad. If you come into a real estate transaction, you don't know anything. You have to listen to your agent, or at least I hope you would listen to your agent. Those who were in real estate 10 years ago will sit there and talk all day long about how they were in real estate and then give that relative the worst advice I've ever seen in my life, because that is pre what's done now. A lot of things were changed in real estate based on what happened in 2008. So a lot of procedures, a lot of laws have been completely rewritten. They have no knowledge other than they bought and sold houses 10, 15 years ago. And another thing that you have to look at is sometimes that friend or relative who's a real estate agent in another state, you're reaching out to them asking for advice. Hey, I'm buying a house in Oregon, making it up. I know you're a real estate agent in Texas, but I want you to help me out a little bit, run all the paperwork by you, make sure everything's good. Guess what? Somebody ran paperwork for Oregon by me. I wouldn't know what the heck I'm looking at. The Texas agent doesn't know either. And here's where the issue becomes. Sometimes they start fishing for money. You see, it's common when a real estate agent sends a referral to another person that they get a little piece of the action. Normally about 25%, just throwing it out there. Well, some of them, when their relative contacts them after the fact, because once they've started working with an agent, it's over with. They can't get that piece of the action. So now they start trying to torpedo the deal so they can either get a piece of the action, and sometimes agents just give them their 25% to shut them up. Because let me tell you something. I've noticed that when they're not getting a piece of the action, they give the dumbest advice in the world. When they're getting a piece of the action, it's the most sage advice in the world. Difference is, one, they're not getting paid, so they want to scuttle the deal so they can figure a way to get paid. And the second one is they're getting paid. They want to make sure that deal goes through. Are you getting great advice in either situation? Probably. I mean, in the one where they're not getting paid, a lot of the dumb things they're telling you is because subconsciously, sometimes consciously, they're trying to destroy that deal. When they're getting paid, they know that they don't know what's going on. They know that fact. They know that the agent they're working with or you're working with knows what's going on. When I send a referral out, I don't call asking about processes. Do you know why? I don't know what's going on in New York. I don't know what's going on in California. I don't know what's going on in Georgia. So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with your relative getting some of the action, but make sure that if they didn't get the action because you informed them after the fact, that the advice that they're giving you is something that is going to help you and not hurt you. Because you could lose a lot when they scuttle the deal, because you could lose your earnest money. You can lose the money you put in for the inspection. You can lose your money that you did the appraisal with. You can lose all of that. On the other side, money you put in for HOA documents and other little things could be gone. So be very careful of the advice that you listen to. Check my information. I'm not saying I'm a genius. I'm saying I'm just here trying to help you out. And if you want to listen to my advice, I invite you to check me. I invite you to challenge me. Okay? And if you want somebody who's challenging, I don't mean just challenging, but who out there knows like a little bit of what's going on. If you need any help, buy, sell real estate, invest in real estate, anything else, just reach out to me, call, text, email. My information is down below in the info tab. Also, the most important thing, get on my calendar, because that way I can block all of that time out just for you. Again, my name is Eric Hudson, real estate agent here in Las Vegas, and my call sign is Nuke. So y'all, we'll keep the lights on for you.